This is a 102.7 FM Toowoomba original podcast.
Welcome everybody to my podcast, Big Little Small Talk. I'm Megan O'Hara-Sullivan and I love to talk, but I also love to listen. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the episode. Today we have Eliza Lebsanft, who is joining us all the way from Brisbane, special guest star. Now, Eliza, you and I ran into each other on Sunday at a very sort of unusual place. I had never been there. What were you doing on Sunday?
I was with my mum and we had a stall at Endless Edit Markets, I think it's called, because, you know, mum's got a bit of a shopping addiction. So we were getting rid of a few clothes. So we had a little stall there.
Yeah, it's a really great thing. It's on the last Sunday of the month and all these people have their excess clothes and they go and sell. And how did you go? We
did really well. Yeah, it was a great turnout despite it was a huge storm the night before. Yeah, there was actually a lot of people. We did really well, but that's also because, again, mum has really nice clothes that she doesn't wear. So I think there's some pretty good quality clothes there too.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, I haven't seen you. I sound like an old person, but I haven't seen you since you were a child. So you used to play a lot of hockey when you were younger, didn't you?
I did, yes, I did.
I thought that there was a bit of a becoming a hockey star dream there.
I always loved playing it, but once I moved to Brisbane after high school, I just kind of stopped for some reason. So yeah, I don't think I was ever that good enough to be a star, but...
Well, Toowoomba's got such a long heritage in hockey
players,
yes. Particularly women hockey players.
Yeah, a lot of really good players. Even from my age group, it's so cool to see now how well some of the girls are doing. But
have come out. So you went to Brisbane after you finished high school, and what did you study?
So I actually started in politics, philosophy and economics at UQ. And after my first semester, I realised, I really thought I was going to work in politics. But after my first semester, I didn't really, and I did the philosophy because my brother loves philosophy. So I was like, awesome, let's do that. And then I kind of realised it wasn't for me. I really didn't enjoy those two areas. And I was not very good at math in high school. But funnily enough, the one that I found the most interesting was the economics component. So I dropped the politics and philosophy and just did an economics degree.
And what was kind of the plan at that stage? You're going to do this economics degree, or did you just think, oh, I'm too far down this rabbit hole, I'm just going to have to finish it?
Yeah, I think it was just like the lesser of three evils. I was like, it's pretty good. I didn't really have any plan. Like I said, I wasn't very good at math. So I kind of think I just fell into it, and then it's only a 3-year degree. That was about halfway through and I was like, well, I better just get it done. And yeah, I found it interesting enough. So yeah, I really thought I was just going to go, get a job in the city and do the usual stuff.
And when you thought you were going to be in politics, what did that look like to you as a kid?
I wasn't really sure, but I wanted to do a job that was helping people, and I did feel quite I'm a very passionate person, so I did think that was quite suited. Yeah, I just really wanted to help people. That's what I kind of thought, and how can I create change kind of thing.
And did you get involved in any student politics at all?
Not really, no, because I quickly realised it just wasn't for me. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
So you weren't playing hockey and you weren't getting involved in student politics. What were you doing?
I was at Duchesne College is what I was doing. So
translate that for me.
I was living on campus at one of the all-girls Catholic colleges there. So I was playing sport.
You were praying a lot.
Pardon?
You're praying a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like to tell mum, no. I was playing lots of sport and doing all the social activities there. So I did get involved at Duchesne, but not at UQ, I'd say.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's what I was doing.
You were partying.
I'm not that much of a partier, actually.
Okay.
Yes, I was living on campus and studying. That's what I was doing.
Okay, so presumably we finish the economics degree and we go and we're doing some sort of working in policy or something. Is that what you're doing now?
It's not.
What are you doing now?
I'm actually a dog behaviourist.
Oh. So tell me, what does that look like?
So I've always loved animals, and I was, in this degree that I wasn't loving, and I just was like, I want to do something fun that I enjoy. So I hopped on Indeed or Seek or something like that, and I just looked for jobs with animals. And this job popped up at this business called Doggy, and I looked at Instagram and I was like, this is incredible. I applied and I was really, really hoping I'd get the job. Went through the interview process and it was incredible, and I did. So I was working there for about a year, and then I was kind of nearing the end of my degree, and people around me kept saying what are you going to do when you finish? Have you got any internships? And I kept saying to myself, oh yeah, I'm going to apply. And then I slowly realized, like being around my incredible boss and some colleagues who had done other things in their life and ended up here, that, you know, I had options. Like I didn't just have to do economics, and I just loved my job. And I had this preconception that I had to do economics. I've gotten this degree, I have to go get a job in the city. And then just over time, people, you know, I kind of changed, like shifted my mindset, and I was, you know, my boss was really good. She's like, hey, you can make a career out of this. And then over time, I just decided that I was like, oh, well, first I'll just take 6 months off to work, then I'll get it. And then now here I am, I'm working full time there.
Was it like, I've paid for this degree, I have to do that serious job, I'm not allowed to do the thing that I really love?
Yeah, I just felt like, yeah, number one, that I didn't even think that it could be a career. Like to me, it was a casual job. And then, yeah, the other thing is I did feel that pressure. You know, you finish high school and you do well, so the path is you have to go to uni. And then after uni, you've got to get a big, you know, big girl job in the city and climb the corporate ladder. And that's just what I thought it would be. Like I didn't know anything else. And then I've met a lot of people, especially my boyfriend who works a corporate job, which he does love, but he was like, knowing you, like, you know, you're so happy. Like, why would you not take this opportunity? It really is my passion.
Yeah. So, Doggy Destination for Dogs.
That's
the long title?
Yes, yeah,
okay.
That's our
What
tagline.
do you do? What's the destination? It's presumably not just the journey.
No, exactly. No, essentially we're a dog behavioural school. So we like to think we're pretty unique, right? If you like contrast it to other daycares, which is kind of a similar maybe concept, but not quite, is, you know, you pay some money, you drop your dog off and they run around in a big centre all day. And there's a lot of places like that in Brisbane, but where, you know, our point of difference is we also understand the behaviour and the psychology that goes into it. And we do so much more than do they just run around. So we take them on a big pack walks every day. We do like obstacles, we do crate training, we teach them all to walk nicely on a lead, and we work through any kind of behavioural issues and socialisation in a safer environment. So that's kind of like one main component of our business. And we have a few other things, like we do private training, we do destination days where we go on adventures, we have a working breed day, so we have a lot of stuff going on. But
well, Eliza, you're just about covering all my material there in one sentence. So let's go back to this Doggy Destination for Dogs. Is not a daycare centre, that's right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we like to make that really clear.
Yeah, so it's not if you need to go somewhere and you've got no one to look after your dog, it's because your dog has some sort of behavioural or socialisation or anxiety or something like that that needs sorting.
We're a behavioural school, but we take dogs on all journey, like of all their, you know, points in their behavioural journey. So that like differentiates us. We do take dogs with behavioural issues like that. No one else will. But then we also just have people who really value what we do, which is you get that pack walk in, you get that safe socialisation and really like the structure of the day. So there's a lot of different training styles out there for dogs, but you know, yeah, people really value what we do because of all the structure that goes into it.
Why is it important that dogs, this pack walks stuff? Look, now you are talking to someone who does not have a dog. I am unlikely to ever have a dog. I had lots of dogs when my children were younger.
Yeah.
And the ones that jumped all over me wearing my white clothes when I was just about to go to work.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Why do we need to pack walk? What does that mean? That's where there's a whole heap of dogs on a whole heap of leads.
Like so many reasons. I could really talk about this forever.
I want you to. I'm really genuinely interested.
So pack walks, why we do that is because dogs need exercise. And there's this dog trainer called Ridge in America who says, fish swim, birds fly, dogs walk. The dogs need to walk. It's essential to their genetic makeup, what they're bred to do. They need that exercise component. So that's really important. The pack, like they're pack animals. It's really good to be in a pack moving together. It feels natural to them. It fulfills them. And that's how you kind of like, probably one of the main pillars of working through behavioural issues is that exercise and pack component is just really important. So it's good to get their exercise in, teach them all to walk nice on a lead together and move together. So yeah, it's really instinctual to them.
Would all dogs, like when you go for a pack walk, do you have to select which ones will go together, or can you have a tiny little fluffy ball and a great big Weimaraner?
We have everything. Like we've had Rottweilers to Chihuahuas to everything. We do kind of like to split them up. So if dogs are needing a little extra guidance on their walk, we might kind of split those ones up within the pack, but otherwise, no, like they all kind of just go together there. Yeah.
So that's part of the day, and you do that sort of as one of the things that you do?
Yeah.
And how long would you take them for a walk?
We try to leave earlier and go for a shorter walk in summer because it can get so hot.
Yeah.
In winter, we might do up to 6K, we like to get in a really nice big walk. So it's awesome.
Does anything kind of really set them off, like the dog behind the fence, and then just all of the dogs in the pack walk go mad and, running off and you're being pulled down the street?
No, well, that's the thing. They're all so well trained, and that's what makes our school so unique is we know them all individually and have the whole crux of it is creating a relationship with the dog. So we have such a strong relationship with them, and all this training that not only we do, but the owners are on board too. So no, that's what we're working through is no, we don't really have that issue because they're all so well trained. They just have a nice loose lead walk behind us. They don't ever pull us. They don't react at stuff because, they might come to us with reactivity, but we generally work through that pretty quickly. And then our relationships with the dog is really strong and represents kind of leadership and safety that we don't really often have reactivity. The owners might still see it, but we generally don't.
How do you establish that rapport so quickly?
Through first understanding them, it's the why, and understanding what dogs are bred to do, what they need, which is fulfillment. And yeah, so understanding the psychology behind it and then applying that. Because obviously we live in a domesticated environment, and at the end of the day they're an animal, so we just have to understand them and then work with that. So it's just about speaking in a way they understand. So I think that a lot of people really humanize it and go to our dogs, oh, can we go for a walk? Is just speak to them a lot, but they don't understand English. So it's speaking in a way they understand. So we often, do these kind of leash drills, and it's hard to kind of explain without doing it, but we just get them walking nicely with us.
On an individual level, first off.
So they have an assessment day to get into the doggy program. And then, so we work with them one-on-one, and then we kind of integrate them into the pack and build this relationship through working them, because that's what dogs are bred to do. So we work them through I don't know, have you ever been around horses too? Mm-hmm. It's called lunging when they go on that. So kind of a similar concept, to do with the lead, you're working them, and that's how you build that relationship. And it's also about your energy, which sounds quite simple, and a bit woo-woo, but
I was going to say woo-woo, but I didn't like to go there.
No, it definitely is. It's it's so interesting, but they really know, if you are calm, confident from the get-go, and they're speaking the way they understand, they really follow that, because that's what they look for. They're hardwired for survival, right? So if you represent safety, calm, leadership, all those things, they will just follow you anywhere.
Oh, that's so interesting. When you said that about dogs don't understand English, I remember seeing a cartoon once many years ago where the person's saying, like you're saying, come here, we're going to go do this today, blah, blah, blah. And then the thought bubble coming out of the dog's head was just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, sometimes they listen more when you speak less, because, it'd just be someone speaking in a different language to you, and you're what are you saying?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And you said too, Eliza, about what their different needs are, the different breeds, or what they want. What sort of things, using that example of the Weimaraner or the Pomeranian, what are their different needs?
Yeah, so I guess at the basis, there's a few key things that if you think of it, they all want safety, they need to be exercised. And then so when we think of the breeds, it is important to understand, people come to us and they'll be I just got a German Shepherd, why is it guarding my house? Or I just got a Border Collie, it's hurting my kids, right? So we have to understand what they're bred to do, because they're all bred for a purpose. When we think of the Border Collies, for example, we know that they require more. They can exercise and be out working for 8 hours a day, and they have these natural instincts to herd and to nip, and that just comes instinctually to them. So we have to understand those things so that we can fulfill them, because you can't, you're never going to squash those instincts. They're always going to be there. We have to work with them in a way that's feasible, because we can't have the Border Collie in the city herding. So we have to fulfill that instinct in some way. So we try to replicate those things in our domesticated environment.
What can the Border Collie herd then?
You can get herding balls and stuff. You probably
balls?
Do. Yeah, balls, this
balls,
big
yeah.
Inflatable thing that you can teach them to herd. But
wow.
It's really just comes down to again, a lot of exercise. So our working breeds, we have a working breed day, and we go and bike them 4 or 5 Ks. And we take them off lead, we play fetch, we do all these kinds of things to try and fulfill them.
Like the Pomeranian, what's it bred to do except for be a little, something lovely to look at and
I actually
companion.
Don't know exactly what Pomeranians are bred for. I mean, there's a select few dogs that are just bred for companionship. That doesn't mean they're still not a dog, like they still need to go for a walk. They still have those natural instincts. But yeah, so I'm not exactly sure what they're bred
Pomeranian, that's a bit of homework for you,
Yeah,
Eliza.
exactly.
Yeah. When we think about COVID, when a lot of people got dogs and the prices of dogs went crazy, what's been the legacy of that?
A lot of separation anxiety. So people, working from home started being a big thing. So people are spending 24/7 with their dogs in their laps. And then obviously eventually the world's opened back up and, we have all these dogs that can't be left home alone because they're just so used to being around someone 24/7 and being coddled and, with their humans. So yeah, some behavioural issues from that because it just generally our world has changed. Like the way we live, the way we work is different.
The way that people treat dogs, that the humanisation of them, dogs and other pets too.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Like how do you go about dealing with the dog's separation anxiety and being treated like a baby?
Even like with the cost of living too, and birth rates declining, like less people are having children, they're getting dogs and then they're treating the dogs like children and dogs aren't children, right? They're animals. So yeah, that obviously creates a lot of behavioural issues because, they don't think like humans, they don't speak like humans. They're like, at the end of the day, they're an animal, they're a completely different species and we have to respect that. So yeah, when we treat them like children, they do get behavioural issues because it's very unnatural for a dog to be treated that way. And we can love them like our children, but loving a dog looks different to the way you would love a human. But similarly, like people go really heavy on the affection and the coddling, but just like a human child, you would have rules and boundaries and structure to help them learn what was expected of them and create some clarity, help them make the right choices. So when they grow up, they know what's expected. That's the missing piece with dogs. Like people just cuddle them and they want them to be like an emotional support thing, treat them like a fluffy little thing they can cuddle, but it's just not really fair for the dog. So what I like to tell people all the time is like, you've got to put their needs above your wants. So you've got to do what's best for them. And so to do with separation anxiety, again, like it's all just, there's like a blueprint for how we do things and then we'll modify it depending on the dog, the breed, the situation. You've got to meet people where they're at. But a lot of it just starts with exercise. Like most dogs just...
That's the answer to everything.
It kind of is. Most dogs just do not get enough exercise. And it's like humans, exercise is good for you. It helps you be less anxious. So that's like our first thing. And then a lot of it is relationship based. The relationship that you've created with their dog is kind of unhealthy. They can't be left alone. They're not an independent being. So
talk to me about that. Like how do you do it a bit like when we used to do the controlled crying, which I still feel guilty about with our kids, but is it sort of leaving them for 5 minutes? Is it leaving them for 10? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, I'd say we don't really do the controlled crying thing, I would say.
No, we don't do that anymore.
No, because they... Yeah, it just doesn't like really work, I guess. And it's distressing for you and the dog, right? But it really depends, I guess.
Wish I'd known that then.
What we kind of do at Doggy again is what makes us different. Like we're not about short-term quick results. We're about building like a strong foundation and like a lifestyle, the way you live with your dog that has lasting results. So it's really about the relationship. Like everything comes down to the relationship. So we have to teach people to understand the why and help them like build a relationship with their dog that is really strong and the dog like wants to be around you, feels safe with you. It's like changing the dynamic often. And then we just do lots of different stuff. Like it really just depends, but obviously crate training is a big one that we do. Like for separation anxiety, it's just so important.
What's crate training? Tell me about that.
Have you seen, people will call it cages.
Oh, right.
Kind of like a cage, but a crate. So we do that because dogs are den animals. Like if I let my dog go tonight, she's going to find a little nice comfy cave or something like to sleep under. So it's kind of replicating that like natural denning instinct, and then it helps them get quality rest because just like humans, if you don't get like enough sleep, you're going to be anxious. Same with the dogs. And it helps to teach them an off switch so that this is the space where you, like a bedroom really, and practicing separation. So that they're safe and they're in a safe environment, but you're going to practice being separate from them. So it's just a really good way to help with that.
Wow, that's so interesting. And what about building confidence? I know you're going to say it's all about the exercise, but what does building confidence mean? Is that confidence in the owner or is that confidence in the dog or both?
Both. I mean, yeah, a lot of what we do really is managing people and helping people, and they're often a mirror of their dogs, really. But confidence building, I guess like humans, healthy stress is good. You don't want to go too far and push them way beyond their limit. But if you just live in this little bubble with your dog and never work through things, then you're never going to grow their confidence. So I'd say it's about like inching past their comfort zone every day and just helping them be better and better. And like, it's like humans. They do something hard, you work them through it, you show you're there to support them. And it builds their confidence, just like humans. You just want to help them be independent, make decisions, but that you'll be there to guide them, kind of thing.
You're going to be such a good parent, I can tell.
Oh,
like you just know
thank
you've
you.
got it. It's part it's a whole lot psychology.
It
Isn't
really is,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, but I would wonder how, because I have heard that saying where people say there's no bad dogs, there's only bad humans, or what. Yeah. How do you teach people how to be more confident? But anyway, I guess that's what you have. Now, when you said about that people treat them like babies and things, where do we sit on kissing your dogs? Because I find that a bit freaky.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that whatever you're okay with, like you kind of have to like meet people where they're at. And like some people, that's like they are okay with that, and other people's obviously are not. But it's kind of all to do with your expectations and what you'd like to achieve. Kissing dogs, like you don't want random, like your dog kissing random people, or like I feel like I like to say with a lot of things like barking, all those kinds of things, like the kissing, like can you turn it on and off? Like if you want your dog to kiss you, like sure, but can you get them to stop kissing you when you say stop kissing me? So
right.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd say about that.
So am I reading this right, Eliza? It's okay to kiss your own dog, but not someone else's dog.
Yeah, I'd probably say that, but yeah. I mean, some of the dogs at school lick me, but...
It's not kissing, it's just licking.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me about the people who started the company, or your boss, who's a really good mentor for you.
Yeah, she's the best mentor ever. My boss's name is Laura. She started the company about 4 years ago. She had a dog named Winnie, who was a Cocker Spaniel, and was really struggling with behavioural issues. She'd been to so many different trainers, tried everything, and nothing was working. That's how she got into it. She just trial and error, tried lots of things, and saw that there was an opening for this. There's a lack of understanding of dog behaviour and psychology. Like there's a lot of obedience out there. There's a lot of different things. Like she tried all these different things. Nothing was working. She saw this opening. She worked with a trainer in America, and that's how she learned a lot of her stuff. And then she's like opened doggies. So
yeah, right.
So she's incredible. She's honestly the best boss ever, and she's a really great mentor to me, not only in training dogs, but also how to run a business. She's like a very successful and amazing businesswoman.
Tell me a little bit, if you feel comfortable, more about her background. How do you become a dog entrepreneur?
Her family had run pubs actually, but they had grown up on a property. So again, like she's always had this interest in animals. She's just always loved animals. And yeah, so it was actually around the time of COVID. And I think that her parents were getting ready to sell the pubs, and that was where she worked. She was just looking for the next avenue of life. And yeah, because you could still take your dog on a walk during COVID. So I think that's kind of how it started. She just saw this opportunity. She just had been trying so many things for Winnie and nothing was working. And she started seeing this kind of style of training, and it was working. She was seeing results. She felt good about it. So that's kind of how she started it from there, and it's just grown ever since. So she used to, I think, just walk the dogs, and then she created this whole big thing. So
yeah, right. So interesting. Now, if you've just tuned in, we're on Big Little Small Talk. This is Eliza Lebsanft. She is a dog behaviourist.
No, you're so
and we're
fun.
talking all things dog, but I do want to know whether you said you love other animals as well. Are you a cat person? Do you like cats as well?
I am a cat person, yeah. There's probably no animals I don't like, honestly. Yeah, I love all animals, like birds, snakes, like anything. I love it a lot. But yeah, I'm definitely a cat person. I'm controversial, like a lot of dog people are just dog people, but I love cats too. I think more people should get cats actually.
Right.
I think because they're more suited to a lot of people's lifestyle these days.
Is there a whole psychology around cats, I would imagine, as well?
Yeah,
they say that, they only go to the person in the room who's not looking at them. How much of that is true?
Yeah, there definitely is. Like, I don't think like the industry itself is like as big as the dog one is, but yeah, like there's definitely like all animals. And once you understand the principles of it, it's kind of like they all communicate in not similar ways, but it kind of all makes sense. So like you start to understand animals a bit better anyway. So, but yeah, there's a whole thing about cats too, for sure.
Cats got a different psychology to dogs?
I think, yeah, again, like some of the basics are similar, but 100%, like they're not pack animals the way dogs are. Like you notice they're quite territorial and independent. Yeah, like because they're bred for a different purpose, like dogs, you know, bred to work and be really loyal, and cats, yeah, I mean, they just, you know, yeah, more independent in general.
I was just going to ask you, what are cats bred for?
Well, I guess they just evolved from, I don't think, like, no. Well, actually, I guess when you think of ancient Egypt, like they were kind of quite a symbol and companions, like the Sphinx, like the hairless cat. So yeah, I guess, I mean, they evolved from cats. Like most animals are just hardwired for survival, and then they evolve and eventually they're domesticated. Here we are.
Well, we have had some incredible pet people here on Big Little Small Talk. And one time last year, I interviewed Abby Craig, who was a great girl. She works at a pet cemetery. And I was going to ask you about, because I was reading up on things that are sort of the trending things with dogs, and it's these eco-friendly pet burials. Do you have anything to do with that?
No, I've honestly haven't really heard of that.
Well, Abby Craig was, she was a very interesting interview, and she was talking about the mementos that people want. And one time she had to make a cast of a stingray that was someone's pet. And
oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So you can go back and find that interview. Yeah. What about things like the trends in names, like prestige TV name dogs? Are you finding any of that sort of thing?
Yeah, like, yeah, there is. I mean, we see all kinds of names, actually. It's so funny. And then, like, actually recently what I've seen a bit of is just like quote unquote human names. Like we had a dog come in called Tom. So, which is obviously my brother's name. So that was a little funny. And like Kevin and lots of human names. But yeah, we see, yeah, I don't know as much like TV names.
Right, but maybe that's more an American thing.
Maybe,
What about the whole trend of therapy dogs? I notice working in retail that there is a lot of dogs in the shopping centre.
Dogs, like, I think are just like so amazing, and they do bring a lot of joy to people. So it is actually really great when they're properly trained to be therapy dogs. But I think it does take a special type of dog. Like not every dog should be a therapy dog. But yeah, I do love it. Like it, yeah. We actually had a dog that came to school with us. It was with Laura since she started. And then now he's like a graduated therapy dog, and he works in art therapy, which is so awesome.
How does that work?
His mum is an art therapist, so he goes along and just helps provide comfort to people going through tough times while she's doing her sessions. He just is a bundle of joy. So yeah.
When you said before about there's certain traits that they'll never be able to get rid of, so things like bull Arabs or the staffies or whatever they are, the ones that, you know, you just worry that they're going to sort of go crazy and bite a baby or something. Yeah. Is that true? Is that always...
Like you mentioned before, like I really kind of don't believe that, you know, there's such thing as a bad dog. They're always a result of their environment and the leadership they're under. But in saying that, when you think of what they're bred to do, like staffies and bull Arabs will have their bite power and they have a really strong jaw. And some of them like genetically do have aggression in them, especially in America. I'm not really sure about as much here, but there is always more of a risk, and some of them are bred to fight and stuff. So yeah, I'd say there's more of a risk, and that's like they don't have those traits that as often make dogs therapy dogs. But yeah, in saying that, again, it's like all about the people that own them. Like I've never met a dog that I think was innately, like there's no such thing as a bad dog. It's the human. You've got to know what you've got on your hands, right? You have to understand that if you're getting a staffy, you're getting a dog with a stronger jaw versus a chihuahua. The potential to do damage is different. So yeah.
What do you think about the whole trend of dogs dancing on TikTok and doing tricks and stuff like that? Do you think it's kind of cute or kind of sad and a bit like animal cruelty or something?
It really depends. Some of those videos, some of them are hilarious, and I do love to do some trends at school sometimes, but yeah, it just really, again, depends. Like there's lots of dog influencers out there, and you know,
influencers.
Have you seen like dogs with a lot of followers that, you know, I guess like that's how they might make income by doing brand deals and stuff. I will just think it comes down to like what relationship do you have with your dog, and are you doing all the other stuff? Because if all your dog is doing is like all day is just like posing for pictures, well, that's not the funnest life for them. But we do have a dog at school that's got a few followers, but his mum is incredible. She does all the other stuff, and then he's also a bit of an influencer on the side. So.
An ambition to be an influencer.
Yeah.
We had another lovely young girl who had a ringtail parrot, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and she's a bit of an influencer.
Oh, that's cool.
It was lovely to hear her story about being a young person and just embracing that as a a job and saying, look, I'm just going to run with this. It's not probably going to be forever.
Yeah, you have the opportunity. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love seeing that content too.
And just that it's a different way to make a living, and it's so sort of not, Gen X or millennial. It's just, just whatever the new Zennial or whatever it is. Yeah. What about the people wearing the same clothes as the dogs, the mummy and me fashion with the dogs? How do you feel about that? When you see someone coming in, you just think, oh, what have we got here? What am I doing?
Yeah, I think it does say a lot about you if you're wearing like a matching outfit with your dog. But no hate, I think that's kind of fun. Like, it just depends, it can go both ways. Like, do you have like this weird relationship with your dog and you treat them like your little baby? Or is it like a fun, cute, like just a way to express yourself? So I'd say it's hard to say, like it goes either way.
Yeah, no, that's nice.
But it definitely says a lot about you, I think.
Yeah. What I have noticed in the last few years is the number of people coming in with their dogs to get the Santa photos.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's exploded, hasn't it?
You had a dog stay with me and I got a Santa photo with him. It was at another girl that we work with, also works at a vet clinic. So the vet clinic did Santa photos with the dogs.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years or so, Eliza? What do you think? You do other things like social media and stuff for doggy.
Yeah, I do a lot of the social media. I'm involved in the day-to-day operations, lots of planning and everything that goes into operating business. I help Laura with a lot of that. I really love what I'm doing at the moment. It's just so fulfilling. I love going to work every day. We have an amazing team. It's not where if you'd asked me 5 years before this, I never could have pictured that I'd be here. But I'm just taking the opportunity and loving it. My boss is incredible. She always is getting us to learn more, do more things. It's just awesome. So I have great opportunities to grow within the business. So I'm really loving that at the moment.
Yeah. Now, thinking about your mum and dad and what they wanted for you when you went to study economics and they thought you were probably on a straightforward path, did you grow up loving animals, and what's kind of the greatest lesson you learnt from your parents, do you think?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Mum actually grew up on a farm, but Mum is not an animal person, right?
Oh, really?
So I think she like fell off a horse at 12 and then just never, and then she'd be like, oh, well, the pets would always die. And she thought it was sad. So now she's like, doesn't really like make that emotional connection sometimes, because I think she found it like sad when she was a little girl. And Dad's always had dogs too, and he says he's not like an animal person, dog person, but he definitely is. Like the way he treats our little dog, like he definitely is a bit of an animal person. But yeah, I always loved animals growing up, and Dad, I'd say, would definitely feel that passion. Like Mum never wanted any animals, but I'd beg Dad. And then so eventually we got our cat. She was just a stray cat. Her name's Tiger. And then we got our dog, and then we had all these birds. Like me and Dad would always pop out of the house and we'd come home with a new bird. Like we had fan-tailed pigeons, chickens, quails, and budgies, anything you can think of. So Dad definitely fueled that. But that was when I was younger, and then I just always loved them. And then I guess, it was like, your options to work with animals are really being a vet. But Mum's a nurse, but I'm not very good with blood and stuff. So I was like, that's probably not the best path for me. So yeah, when I found this, it was awesome because I didn't think it was an option. But what I've learnt from, my most important lesson from Mum and Dad, it's really hard to narrow it down, so many things. But something that I probably translate into my work a bit is I think society in general, people these days are a bit self-interested. And I think Mum and Dad are the most selfless people I know. So I think just taking that on a bit, not being judgmental, being really selfless, going out of your way to help people. Because I guess the work I do now is a bit vulnerable. People come to you in times of distress when they're having struggles with their dog. Being a comforting figure, being non-judgmental, being open and providing some hope that I'll work with you, we'll get there. So that's probably what I've learned from Mum and Dad. But yeah, just their selflessness is something that I feel is the most important thing I've learned from them.
Oh, I feel a bit teary listening to that. That's a lovely thing to say. I better go on to something a bit lighthearted so that I don't get too weepy. We were talking about food choices before.
Yeah.
And sometimes I ask people, if you could only store one type of food in your pocket, what do you think it would be? What would you carry?
Anyone in my life knows that I have pasta every night of the week. So if I could fit it nicely in my pocket, I would probably, if there's a container and it wasn't going to go off, I'd probably have pasta, I think, if that's an option.
Right.
I have it every meal. I just love pasta.
So you're not like the new generation, they won't eat any bits of bread or anything because it's all about the carbs.
And especially because I'm so active, I get really hungry. I've never, pasta all the way. That, it doesn't cross my mind. It just tastes so good that I'm I'll just eat it every day.
What do you have on the pasta?
I cook all types of pasta meals. Actually, one thing that my boss makes that she's really got me onto is sometimes when I'm tired, I will have plain pasta and broccoli.
Oh.
I know. I'm not a very good cook, actually.
It's just fuel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have like spaghetti bolognese, tuna mornay. My boyfriend loves steak, so we'll just have steak and pasta.
Steak
like
pasta, right.
anything with pasta.
If you can describe yourself, but Eliza, if you said in 3 words, I am, what would they be, do you think?
I think I would say empathetic. Like I do think I'm like quite an empathetic person, and I really love that about myself. It can be to a detriment sometimes because I really, really care, but I'd say that's how I describe myself. Another one would probably be passionate. Like I've always been very strong-willed, passionate about what I do, and it's like, you know, interesting. Obviously I've ended up in something that is like really fueled by passion. So yeah, in all aspects, I'm a very passionate person. And then I'd probably say loyal too. I think I'm like quite a loyal person to my friends and family. So I think that's probably 3 words that would kind of sum up like who I am.
Yeah, I think it's a very good way to describe yourself. I thought you were going to say a dog person, something a little bit more thoughtful than that. Do you have a favourite childhood memory?
Yeah, I had like the best childhood.
Literally everything.
I would say, I guess like our old house, we had this beautiful backyard. Probably my best childhood memories are in the simple stuff, like just being outside with all my birds and my dog and my cat and my brother and our really good family friends, and just like we had a dad he was really handy, so we had this tree house, this swing. So just being in the backyard with my family and friends and all the animals, that's probably where the best childhood memories are.
And you said your brother Tom really loves philosophy. Working in that field, that's a hard job too.
Yes, yeah. He is working as a teacher now. He mostly does English and history, but he also has the qualifications for philosophy, but obviously it's not many schools teach philosophy, but yeah, he still lives and breathes it every day. He reads more books than anyone I've ever known. Any birthday, Christmas, you're getting a book from Tom, and all Tom wants is a book back. Yeah.
That's good. You know what the ground rules are.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. What do you think the last time you looked in the mirror, you probably look in the mirror every day or more than once, hopefully. Yeah. What did you think the last time you looked in the mirror?
I think every time I look in the mirror, my like actual first thought is I need to brush my hair, because my hair's like all over the shop. I think like I'm quite desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Like I look at my yourself in the mirror every day. I mean, I was listening to a podcast called Shameless, and one of the girls said on there like how peasants would only see themselves like once a year, if that, in a puddle.
Yes.
How interesting that you know we everywhere, like everything we walk past, windows, mirrors, like we're always looking at ourselves. So I think, I don't know, I probably thought about my hair, that I need to brush it off.
Sometimes I have older people answer that question and they say, I thought that I looked like my mother, but even worse, I look like my grandmother, or, you know, things like that. And it is sometimes you do catch yourself, even when you see a photo of yourself as you age, and think, I'm looking more. Now, my second last question is always, do you have a favourite royal? Do you know anything about the royals?
Like, mildly, I guess. What about Queen Elizabeth's corgis? Does that count as a royal?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that's probably nice. Are you a big royals fan?
Yes.
Who's your favourite royal?
Oh, thank you for asking. I don't think anyone has asked me. Do you know the Queen Elizabeth's sister, Margaret? She's not alive anymore, but she was a real sort of, you know, lying on the beach in Ibiza, smoking and drinking and, you know, off partying and just really wild. And she died early because of it, I think. But that's my favourite royal.
I'll have to. I don't think I know anything about her. I'll have
Margaret. She's very stunning, and she and the
Queen
Queen were very close growing up. There's just the 2 girls. But
cool. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah.
Very tanned and but I think a bit tortured too, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you like The Crown then? Have you watched that show?
I've only watched a little bit. I just don't sit and watch TV. I do fall asleep if I'm watching anything, but anything that's going on, particularly at the moment with Meghan and Harry and Andrew and Fergie and all of that. You know, I just can't drag my eyes off the social media. I will troll and spend way too much time.
Interesting. I've listened to a few things about that too. I probably
don't go down that rabbit hole.
No, I won't.
Advice. Yeah. Now, you said you're not a big partier, but you would like to dance, I would imagine. What's the song that can't keep you off the dance floor?
That's a really hard question. I mean, if I'm going to be really basic, like and honest, probably like Mr. Brightside or something by The Killers. Like if I was sitting somewhere and that comes on, that probably would get me up and dancing. Or like maybe an ABBA song. But if I'm with mum, any song. Mum's a big dancer, so any song with mum. But yeah, probably like something ABBA.
What about Dad? There's a lot of sort of fun and dancing in your household growing up?
Absolutely. They love their music, mum and dad. Dad's probably he has the most interesting dance style of anyone you've ever seen. He kind of like moves back and forward in one spot, but probably for Dad, he's a big Eagles fan. So one of these nights or something like that would really get Dad up and going, and probably me too.
Fond childhood memory of a song.
Yeah.
Well, you give us a few choices there, so I'm sure we'll be able to find something that we'll be able to play after this interview. Eliza, I have so enjoyed speaking to you. You've just opened my mind all about dogs, and I particularly love your motivation. Like you do it because you just love it.
Yeah.
It's clear and it's written all over your face, and you can hear it in the sound of your voice. So I just hope it takes you and you can keep doing it and keep finding the world of dogs fascinating.
Oh, thank you so much. That was lovely. I really enjoyed being on the podcast. That was a great chat. So thank you so much.
That's it for this week. Thanks for joining me on Big Little Small Talk. I hope you can make the time to join me next week. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favourite podcast app.
You've been listening to a 102.7 FM Toowoomba original podcast. For more podcasts or to listen to live and local Toowoomba radio, please visit 1027.com.au or listen on iHeartRadio and Community Radio Plus apps.